You gotta stop it yourself. You take your mind out of creative mode and you kind of get in mechanical mode.
You listen to yourself almost, like critiquing yourself.
Yeah, and then you just doing rewind and playback. That type of thought process is different than like fishing for words and trying to like tap into a cadence. It's a different part of the brain. So it kind of conflict doing both. So I would just like try to not focus on the record part, had like a real setup process where it was like a 3-button thing, and try to stay tuned in to the delivery of the lyrics.
On another note for my startups, for my inspiring entrepreneurs or the people who are beginning entrepreneurship, the do-it-yourself to save money kind of concept. You have to learn all the tricks of the trade in order to give it away and things like that. I'm still very big on that. Like, you got to do some of the things on your own just to understand the foundation and the vision, right? But there is a negative side of doing everything on your own in the beginning. Or if you're past the beginning and you're still doing a lot of things, there's a negative side to it. So this is what Nip said.
You gotta stop it yourself. You take your mind out of creative mode and you kind of get in mechanical mode.
You listen to yourself almost, like critiquing yourself.
Yeah, and then you just doing rewind and playback. That type of thought process is different than like fishing for words and trying to like tap into a cadence. It's a different part of the brain. So it kind of conflict doing both. So I would just like try to not focus on the record part, had like a real setup process where it was like a 3-button thing, and try to stay tuned in to the delivery of the lyrics.
Yeah. This reminds me of our flight assessment talk. Mm-hmm. It's like when we talk about know your role, know your space. But I think one of the way he's spinning it here, he's not necessarily just saying, "Oh, don't learn something that you're not good at," or the typical, "Oh, make sure you hire people for the things that you're not good at."
Right.
I think in a way he's saying, I don't want to try to do 2 things at the same time.
Yes.
So it's like, if I'm going to record, I'm going to focus on recording, and then I'll come back and do the production side of it. Mm-hmm. But I won't try and do both at the same time, because one is going to interrupt my creative process or one is going to interrupt my workflow. So it's like, if you don't have the resources that you need to hire people and get all these people in place, it's like, this might be the way to still be able to do what you need to get out there, mm-hmm. but that might be the shift that you need to make and not try to do all of these things at the same time. It's like, create a time or put aside some time for this type of task, which needs you to be in your analytical state. You need to be fully locked into the accounting and the math and all that good stuff, the stuff that I like, the one that Nicky hates. Maybe you got to tap in with that.
Right.
But then come back at a different time for you to think about the marketing and the branding and the creative side of things, so that you're not trying to do those things simultaneously. So that's the part that I heard, Nick. I think that I don't know. I don't know if you got the same thing, but that's what I heard.
Yeah. I heard it in a way like you actually take yourself out of your own genius by trying to do everything, right? So something similar, but and this is also for those who have control issues. Like, no one can do it like I can, right?
Yeah, it's me.
Like, no one can do it as I can, and things like that. And I know for me, I recently reached a spot where I'm doing a lot and I can't get into my idea mode. Like, one of my superpowers is thinking of different ways, like different ideas in order to make money or in order to grow a brand, right? And I'm still in a phase of doing a lot of the stuff that is now a little bit more time consuming than before for some reason, and it's not allowing me to think of the next, and it's not allowing me to double down on what is already there and figuring out more ways to get the awareness and things like that. So it's not that it's not being done, but it's not being done in the full capacity that it should be, because I'm doing that and this. So it could be more of a spontaneous idea, which will still work, right? But if you would have given me more time, what could have possibly been of that quick idea? You know, like, and what he said at the end was very crucial for those people who do have to do it on your own. It's like, what is the workflow that makes it automated so I can go back into my own thing? So sometimes it's not necessarily about, you know, hiring a person just yet if you're not there. It's about what are some productivity apps or systems or just certain workflows that you could put in place, that the thing that is not your, like, of course, we put our minds to anything, we can do it. You know, I'm fully believer in that. But if we know we are more of the creative side rather than, as he said, the mechanical side, right? Or the system side, then we need to find a way to automate that mechanical side so we can be creative. Or even vice versa. Maybe you are the mechanical kind, the system kind, and you're not the creative way. So how can we systemize that part, if it's even possible, in order for you to do what you do? Like that shows that you should not stay in that place too long of doing everything or doing certain things. Some people are doing their taxes and they have no business doing taxes right now. Some people are reading emails and doing all the admin stuff and they have no business doing it. You know, there's a lot of things that some of us just have no business doing. Some people have no business being in front of the camera right now. You know, and that's perfect. That's not neither one of us. I'm not speaking about us. But some people have no business doing that, but they feel as if they have to in order to get to different levels, right? And sometimes we feel we can't give this up because no one's going to do it the way we do it. But we're not doing it in a full 100% anyway. So actually, yes, they can, because their whole situation is to do that. Right. Like, and that is it. And it's going to take some time because how you have it in your head is going to be a little bit different, right? So that takes a little bit of patience and delegation, but they are only supposed to do that while you're supposed to take over the world. So go take over the world and stop with the little minute stuff, or automate that minute stuff, because it's killing you from getting to the next level. That's how some of the things, that's how I received it.
No, that's good.
It's speaking to me.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, we all kind of go through like those different seasons where even something that worked really, really well for us in a past season just isn't as effective in this season. You know, like you mentioned, it's like, I don't know that your workload has changed. I'm sure it has to some extent, but for whatever reason, like you mentioned, it's taking you more time now. So it's like whatever what was working in the last season may not be as effective in this season. And it requires these little changes and upgrades to help kind of kickstart some creativity or just some more productivity. I know for me, a couple of months back, it was the upgrade in my technology. I was like, I really think it's slowing me down. And maybe part of it was mental, I don't know. But for those of you who work off of one screen and then you get a second screen and you can start going back and forth, it's like, yo, I can really do so much more. So yeah, no, there is a lot of gems in that for sure.